Stand up. This is more like sit down. Get it? Because I'm sitting in a chair? That joke was stupid. You don't know I'm sitting in a chair. This is just an audio recording. But anyway, if you're still listening, I have more jokes. I work in this deli and there's a sign in the break room where I work that says always give the customer more than they expect. So I like to always give them twice the amount of meat that they want sliced. Could I get 2 pounds of ham? Yeah, of course, here's your 4 pounds of ham. But my manager came back and yelled at me for upsetting customers one day, and now I don't know what to believe. I feel like it would be funny to go into the store before everyone else one morning and glue all the shelves and cash registers and everything to the ceiling, so when everybody else walked in for the day, they'd stumble around confused trying to get right side up.
What is wrong with this guy?
At the store, I saw a sign for blackberries for 65 cents each. I thought that was an awful big ripoff. That is one expensive blackberry. Especially considering other stores have whole boxes of blackberries for only $1. So the other day I peed my pants. Oh wait a minute, that's not how the joke went. The other day at the store, I had to pee so badly, but they wouldn't allow it, saying the restroom was only for employees, and so I ruined a brand new pair of pants. Now they can't sell that pants that I peed all over. Serves their right for not letting me use their bathroom. So I would always buy whipped cream instead of shaving cream because it was so much cheaper. But the other day, the shaving cream at the store was cheaper because it was half off, so I bought that instead. I mean, they seem so substitutable in past experiences with shaving, but using the shaving cream, let me tell you, that was the nastiest sundae I've ever eaten.
Why?
I was buying Microsoft or Android products for the longest time, but I actually went to the store the other day and bought an Apple. The Apple tasted a lot better than the machines I kept buying.
What?
You know what'd be a nice advertisement for a vacuum cleaner but no other household appliance? The ad could just say, "This vacuum really sucks." I always wanted to start a restaurant because for me being the owner, it'd be all you can eat every day. And they say you are what you eat. So I guess I'd be the whole buffet, which sounds like a pretty cool guy. Do you want some boxes of elbows? I have way too many in my basement. Is probably something I should have never told the policeman that day.
What?
Or I at least should have explained first that I have an Italian restaurant and had just received a shipment of too much pasta. But really, if you ever need a shoulder to cry on, I have plenty in coolers in my basement.
Ugh.
One dark night, I spotted crawling creepily down the hall my father's ankle, and while I was crawling, I grabbed the back of his leg, and he kicked my head in. This one time, this guy was beating my head in with a crowbar, and naturally I yelled out, "In pain!" And then he stopped to question why I yelled the words "in pain" rather than just letting out a scream of pain. I was hanging out with my old college buddy the other day, you know, playing pool and drinking sodas and stuff, when all of a sudden he pulled out a knife and stabbed me in the chest 17 times. You know, you think you know a guy, and I did. I'm just really bad at making friends. I was running down the streets of town after a man. "Help, help, thief, he stole my wallet," till a nice policeman helped me retrieve the wallet. And I was set on my way back home. The wallet was full of cash. The guy must have been loaded. I might even keep his ID. I'll just have to get used to the name Kenny Peterson.
What? Kenny Peterson.
This one time I maced a guy for no apparent reason. He considered it assault, but I considered it a pepper spray.
Spray.
I saw how my friend let his dog sleep in his bed with him, and I thought that was so nice, so I tried that out with my pet, Goldfish, and it didn't work out quite the way I had hoped.
Boo.
Well, my parents said he was only sleeping and just needed more water than I could give him, and so they had me flush my Goldfish down the toilet. And then this morning, we tried to do the same for my replacement Goldfish, because he fell asleep too. But then the toilet overflowed, and both Goldfishes came up. And then my dog came up too. They were obviously all just dead. Lying parents. I always thought it'd be a great elaborate prank to pour all the red Kool-Aid powder into the city's water system. So hopefully when it all evaporated into the clouds and it started to rain red, everyone would think that it was the end times. But not me. I'd just be out in the street drinking Kool-Aid. So I was prank calling people the other day. I punched in a random number, and then I heard a phone ringing outside, coincidentally. Somebody was calling my neighbor at the same time that I was prank calling somebody else. I just love coincidences like that. So then anyway, I was pranking them when all of a sudden I heard my doorbell ring. So I answered when my neighbor holding a phone punched me in the face and told me to quit calling his wife. This one time I got a phone call from this unknown number. They asked me if my refrigerator was running. So I went and looked in the kitchen and noticed it wasn't even there. It was in the backyard running laps practicing for the marathon. My refrigerator really was running. I just hate these weird psychics that keep calling me. No, I'm sorry. That was a lie. Here's the real story. So they asked, "Is your refrigerator running?" And I responded, "Yes, it is," as I ran from my refrigerator, which was clutching a knife and chasing me down the avenue. And they told me, "You better go and catch it." And all I could say was, "I'm afraid it's going to catch me. Please send me help. I'm dying out here." That one was stupid. I worked on being a baseball player for 12 years, and then finally the day came. I was going up to bat for the Reds, my favorite team, and I hit it out of the park and ran all the way around back to the base. And so the announcer guy was shouting that I hit a home run. So then to make that statement accurate, I had to run all the way home, am I right? And even after all the work for them, the jerk still wouldn't give me a second game. Well, since baseball didn't really work out for me, I got a job working at the store in this deli, like I said earlier. Some guy came up to me one day and asked for a pound of ham, and I said to him, "We don't sell them for pounds, we sell them for dollars. This is in the UK." And then he got mad at me and punched me in the head.
Ouch!
And this guy called me a stupid moronic idiot. So I turned around and I told him that he used an unnecessary amount of synonyms and that he was repetitive and redundant. Then he told me I used an unnecessary amount of cinnamon and that the rolls were inedible and repugnant. Why do people call it the ATM machine? ATM stands for Automated Teller Machine. It's not the Automated Teller Machine. That's like calling your PIN a PIN number.
Idiots.
Roses are red, violets are blue, but I don't really care at all, so I don't know why I told you. I've heard some pretty dumb pickup lines, like "You must have fallen from heaven, you look like an angel." Whatever happened to just asking, "Do you want to get dinner sometime?" I once asked somebody if they wanted to get dinner, actually, and they just replied no, which is always fine. There's plenty of fish at the supermarket. Sometimes the poor just aren't hungry. But then her stomach growled, and I felt confused, and I had to eat my bag of Doritos all by myself.
Aww.
I found this homeless guy laying in an alley, and I asked him, "Are you down?" And he says, "Down for what?" And I said, "Well, I mean, are you feeling blue?" And he says, "You can't feel a color, stupid." So I explained, "No, I meant like down like sad." And he explains to me that he is down. So I tell him I know just how to lift your spirits, and then I lean down and grab up all of his liquor and run away with it. My friend asked me how I was doing, and I told him I was in a really dark place, and he told me, "Just turn on the lights, man." And then I punched him in the head. At one point in my life, I was living in a box and broke. I don't know why, while my leg was broken, my family had me live in that box. The other day I was outside grilling, and my neighbor came up and said, "What you doing, you grilling?" And I said, "No, I'm trying to find a way to get rid of this body." And he walked away, and several minutes later the police arrived. That was the whole joke.
That's the whole joke.
The other day I was making coleslaw and I let out a big fart, and then my friend walked by and said, "Boy, that coleslaw gets smellier every day."
What?
The other day I ran my car into a tree. I still don't know why I did that. The other day I got so wasted, and I went to the bank and was asking if I could take out some money, but the guy wouldn't give me any and kept cawing at me like a seagull, so I strangled him. The next morning I woke up holding this dead bird in my hand. I guess I went to the wrong kind of bank. The other day on my way to work I hit this deer. It was the strangest sight I ever did see though. It had no antlers, it was bald except on the top of its head, and it was oddly human-shaped. And when I hit it, it made this noise that sounded like a guy saying, "Oh my God, you hit me!" So I was shopping down at the grocery, and this young punk started giving me the stink eye. And I look at him squinting real intently, and he says, "Hey man, what's your problem?" And I say to him, "I'm trying to see the look on your face, and I have to squint 'cause I'm old as crap, and I can't see you." And he came up to me real mad now, so I drew my revolver. So then he says to me, "What's with you, man, drawing a picture when I'm about to knock you down?" And I said, "What do you mean? There's always time for a quick illustration." And he says, "You must be out of your mind." And so then I pull my revolver out of its holster on my side, real quick, and I shoot him then. And he goes, "What the crap, you shot me in my left arm, you psycho." And so I bring it up again and I shoot him in his right arm. And so the punk gets real disrespectful. And he says, "Can't we be reasonable here? I just want to buy my fondue and get the heck out of here. You've shot 2 of my favorite arms here." And I bring the revolver again and I shoot him in the left leg, and he gets all mad. "Dude, how am I gonna continue living now? I have a one-legged race tomorrow, and I have to be the left side." And so I bring up the revolver again to that mouthy jerk, and I shoot his right leg, and he says to me, "Is there no end to my torture? Why didn't you just shoot me in the head first and get this over with?" And I said to him, "That's what I've been trying to do all this whole time. I'm just a bad shot." My psychiatrist said to me, "Whenever one door closes, another one opens." And I said, "Man, that must really suck. I'd hate to go walking around the house reclosing doors all day." And to think I went to him trying to find closure. I don't understand why gold nuggets are so much more expensive than the chicken nuggets. The chicken nuggets taste way better. They told me not to drink and drive, so ever since I started learning to drive, I've been parched.
This guy is crazy.
I'm thirsty. This old couple was waiting in line one time. And I says, "What can I do for you?" And the guy says, "I need a pound of bologna cut as thick as this woman's skull." And she says, "And I'll take a pound of turkey as thin as his thinning hairline." And then they started fighting, and I just yelled out to get their attention, "The slicer doesn't get that thick or thin." So then the old guy punched me in the head. When I worked in a restaurant this one time, the chef was real distraught, and he yelled out, "Where did all the time go?" And I said to him, "I think it was on the shelf over there with the parsley and oregano." And then he came over and punched me in the head.
Oh.
The other day I punched myself in the head, and my friend said, "Quit hurting yourself all the time," and punched me in the head. I was telling my manager at work that we should get mattresses back there, like behind the slicers and stuff, so that we can sleep between helping customers. And she said, "You can't just sleep on the clock." And I said, "I do it all the time." And she looked appalled at me. And I said, "See, sleeping on a clock's not as comfortable as sleeping on a mattress. That's why we need mattresses back here." I went to the mattress store because they had an ad that said our prices are dirt cheap. So I went to the front and I grabbed up a pile of dirt and I took it in and put it on the counter. And this guy punched me in the head. I got fired from my job the other day. I said, "Why are you firing me? I didn't do anything." And they said, "Exactly, that's why we've got to let you go." I like to fry everything at work. That's probably why they fired me from that computer storage warehouse. Don't you just hate it when you get up in the middle of the night for a drink and you're walking around in the dark and you stub your toe on an autographed photo of Conan O'Brien from '93? When I first heard of football before I had watched it at all, I thought it was a sport where you just kick someone with your foot in the balls until they fell over. How many of you out there in the crowd have been kicked in the balls?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not you,
that's
bud.
right. I'm asking you women. There's no cheating in the floor is lava when the floor actually is lava. You touch the ground and it's over, buddy. I don't make the rules. Like, hey, I saw that. What? Saw what? I didn't touch the ground. Dude, man, you have 5th degree burns on your feet. As a matter of fact, you don't even have feet. The other day, me and some friends met up to play tennis. Yeah, right, like I have friends. And one of my friends brought the tennis balls, and I brought a container of Pringles to eat while they played. Because I don't really like playing life-size ping pong. But they opened the Pringles by mistake and started playing with them, and then I had to eat the tennis balls instead. If once you pop you can't stop, then why is it that Pringles come with a resealable lid? I went to the store recently on a lifelong search for the right orange juice, and while I was there I saw 2 kinds. There was a pulpless and an extra pulp. I didn't want to drink pure stomach acid, so I bought the extra pulp kind. But when I got home and tried it, the pulp was too much to drink. I guess extra pulp is just some kind of translation for pre-peeled oranges in a bottle. While I was at the store, I noticed some of the milks say contains milk on them, and there were even some cheeses that say contains cheese. Who wouldn't know that? Oh wait, honey, get back out of the car. This one has cheese in it too. In all the Coke commercials, the people drinking it seemed to be hallucinating. Seeing those commercials, you'd think they were putting cocaine in it again. I tried cigarettes once. Some people like it, but I don't understand how you can. I had to stop with that stuff. I was puking out the filters for days. How was I supposed to know you aren't supposed to eat them?
Ugh.
I'm always high when I want airline food. It's too bad I can't bring weed up on the plane. The other night my friend kept bugging me while I was trying to wind down. So I told the guy, listen, I said, I'm just trying to watch a little TV before bed. And he says, why are you going to watch a little TV? I thought you just bought that new big one. I was told the government stopped making half cents in 1857, but if you ask me, they never made any sense. I actually invented the George Foreman grill. Everybody thinks it was George Foreman because the name makes that seem obvious, but really I just named it that thinking it would be funny. I walked up to this big tree the other day and gave it a hug, and then they punched me in the head. I think I need better glasses. I'm not sure if it was a man or a woman, but they were definitely out of sight. One Christmas morning, my brother got his stocking down and pulled out these cool 3D glasses, and I said, whoa, that's cool. And he replied, I was good this year, so why the heck would I have gotten cool? So my friend has this job working on bikes. He has since I met him. And he was talking about how he's worked on many bikes in his life. And I told him he had to dream bigger. I told him, you know, if you can work on mini bikes, you could probably work on regular-sized bikes too. As an artist, I come up with my best work while in the shower. But the paintings always just get soggy by the time I'm finished showering. One morning I got out of the shower and I was naked and I sat on the toilet and I let out a big one. And then I got up and it wouldn't friggin' flush. So I got up and I went and I looked in the mirror and I thought, golly, I'm getting big. I really need to work on my fitness. But I'm so weak, you know. I just can't deal with that kind of commitment. Not even to my health. So I made a big decision. I decided to eat all the junk food I had left in the fridge. And so I walked over to the kitchen, and I couldn't remember which fridge was mine. And then that's when I realized I only ever had one fridge. I was showering, crapping, and walking around naked in the friggin' Home Depot again. Not to mention I was singing along to Beyonce in the shower. Get Air is a nice trampoline park, but it really should be called Lose Air. I went there with my friends like a week ago, and I still can't breathe. I went in thinking I could buy a balloon or an oxygen tank, but I was mistaken. When I got home, I texted my friend, we should go back in 6 months. And he said, Like, why in 6 months? And I said, because by then I'll have caught my breath. I thought I made a joke about all the jokes that I've misplaced and lost, but I guess I lost that one too. I noticed all the Chinese restaurants have these fat Buddha statues on display. Who wants to stare at a fat guy while they eat? Buddha wasn't even a fat guy in real life. The statues must be the Americanized version of Buddha. I feel like this is their way of saying, this is what we think of America. Whenever an American goes overseas on a business or some kind of trip, they lose weight. But America is a great place. It's a country where people from all over the world can come and get fatter. I pulled up to Wendy's, pulling myself forward using my arms until I got up to the drive-thru. And well, this lady comes on the speaker and she says, "Welcome to Wendy's, how may I help you?" And I reply, "Well, there's this bear trap on my foot that I haven't been able to get off for days. Maybe you can help me by taking it off." So she comes out with a hacksaw and cuts it off. And I say, "Look what you've done, you cut off my foot." And then to make matters even worse, there was a hair in my fries. Yeah, she thought I was asking her to take my foot off, not the saw, not the bear trap. And after that whole charade, I went to the barber. My hair had gotten so long, nearly 18 inches of hair I had. So I asked him, "Can you take off about 12 inches? And then he takes off a foot. Now I've lost 2 feet in one day. This has been one lousy day. Well, I'm about out of jokes, so here goes nothing.